Good morning, everyone. I am coming at you rather fresh-faced and bushy-tailed this morning. It is another gorgeous sunny day, and you know that always puts me in the best mood. So I literally woke up, threw open the curtains, I've been having my morning cup of tea downstairs watching the sunrise, which is literally just my favorite way to spend a morning. It sounds so airy-fairy, but I really do feel like it just elevates me and puts me in the best mood. If I'm not going to be getting out, I like to at least be able to just kind of like look and watch the beautifulness of the morning, which sounds so ridiculous, but yeah, I have just been really enjoying my morning tea, doing some journaling, posting on Instagram, and just getting ready for the day. It's one of the things that I love about my morning posts with Instagram. If you don't know, I have quite a schedule when it comes to posting. I usually post once in the morning around 8 AM. It can kind of be any time between like 7 AM and 9 AM. Usually around the 8 AM mark, and then I like to post in the evening, usually around the 5 PM mark. So if you ever wondered what my Instagram schedule was, that is my schedule. But yes, I'm coming on here to do my makeup this morning, and I'm just so happy that it's sunny today because I feel like the weather has been lying to us a lot. I obviously don't know the science behind like weather apps and obviously like the forecast, and I understand things can always change, but it has been happening so much recently where they say it's going to be raining, it's going to be raining, it's going to be raining, and then either you might get like 15 minutes of rain out of the entire day, or it just doesn't rain at all. Like it gets a little bit cloudy, a little bit overcast, but then the sun comes back out. And I feel like that's been happening so much recently, and I've kind of told myself maybe I should just stop looking at the weather apps, especially if I've just got like a day at home. Because for me, the only time the weather really matters is if I'm on a shoot. Obviously, I want to have a gorgeous sunny weather. I want it to be sunshine. I actually recently did a shoot at Martyrsville, which I never vlog on shoot days because I just find that that's way too much for my brain to handle. Like trying to think about vlogging, trying to think about shooting, trying to like obviously change and plan my outfits and plan the location. It's just like, it's way too much. My brain will literally get frazzled. And I had a shoot day at Martyrsville the other day, and it was just beautifully sunny. It was quite windy. So if you see those photos going live, I hope you appreciate that I was battling the wind. I was absolutely battling the elements, but we had glorious sunshine, and that is all that mattered. But yes, I am about to get myself ready for the morning. I thought we could have a little bit of a catch up because I feel like it's been a while since we've caught up whilst I have done my makeup, and although not too much has changed, I'm really enjoying my kind of everyday makeup at the moment. I feel like it's just quite simple, quite fresh faced. I really do feel like ever since getting my facials, it's just kind of changed the way that I look at how like I want to be covering my skin. I don't want it to be completely caked, completely covered. Like I want my skin to shine through, but just to have that kind of like layer of protection over the top, that like perfecting layer. So I'm starting with the Poppy Brown. This is the Skin Full Cover Concealer, and it's a really lovely concealer, and all I do is a little bit under my eyes and just wherever I am feeling like it's a little bit blemishy. Oh, I did of course as well start with my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. Absolutely adore this. It is just one of the best moisturizers, and I actually don't use this as my initial moisturizer in the morning. I use it as kind of like a secondary moisturizer slash primer just before putting on my makeup. So I put that on just before sitting down to chat to you guys. Speaking of the weather forecast, I am really hoping that the forecast is wrong for this weekend coming, because it's currently saying that it is going to be quite grey, quite miserable, and potentially raining. But Alex and I are going to have a really busy weekend, and we really need it to be sunny, or at least like clear skies for that, because it's actually a long bank holiday weekend here in the UK, which is really exciting. We have got a lot of long weekends this May. Normally we have two. We've got one right at the beginning of May and one right at the end. But this year, we've got 2 bank holiday weekends in a row, which I don't think that has ever happened in like the history of anything. I am so close to running out of the Pixi H2O Skin Tint. I actually picked up a new one the other day, and I'm so close to opening it. I actually cannot wait. Does anyone else get really excited to open new products? Because it just upsets me when it looks like this. Like it's really gross and just not appealing to put on your face. I get it in the shade Nude, and I find that that is perfect for me because it's quite blendable into your skin. So I feel like you don't have to worry too much about colours. Like they do have quite a good spectrum of colours, but I do feel like it's quite a big jump in between them. But I would say you don't have to worry too much because it's really blendable and really buildable. It really is just like the most perfecting layer of skin on your face. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. It doesn't look like foundation, it doesn't look like BB cream, it doesn't look like you're wearing makeup, it just looks like your skin has got such a perfecting layer. I absolutely love it. So yes, this weekend Alex and I are basically going to be doing a bit of a trial run because we actually are going to be hosting for the King's coronation, which is really exciting. We kind of just want to like get everything ready and sorted, and obviously we've been changing a lot around the garden with the furniture and stuff like that, and Alex wants to get his projector out, and we just want to make sure that it's kind of like ready. So we want to do a trial run of that, and we are also potentially going to visit our first wedding venue location, and I am so excited to start wedding venue hunting. We've both said that we don't want to rush it, and we really want to just like enjoy the process and kind of make the most of it. Like whenever it came to asking people's advice on like wedding planning, engagements, being fiancés, things like that, the biggest thing that kept coming up is just enjoy the process. Don't rush it, just enjoy it. Like don't put pressure on yourself to get married by a certain time, and that's something that we've both agreed. Like if we get married in 2 years, great. If we don't get married for 3-4 years, absolutely fine. Like we just want to make sure that number one, the location that we choose is perfect. Like I am sure this is the same with every single bride, but I have a very like strict criteria with what I want from the venue, and I feel like it's one of those, we were talking about this the other day actually, I do feel like planning a wedding is like dominoes, and literally nothing can happen until that first domino falls. So we actually don't know what time of year we want to get married, like whether it's going to be spring, whether it's going to be autumn, winter, like summer. I think that's going to depend on the venue. We don't know which country we want to get married in. Again, it's going to be one of those where it depends on the venue. I've got a rough idea of how many guests I would like, but again, I think it's going to depend on the venue, whether it will be like, okay, not everyone can come to the day, so what we'll do is like a day group, we'll do like an evening group, and just so much that I feel like it's just going to be so dependent, like even like the colour scheme, the flowers, it's all going to depend on the venue. So I'm so excited to get started with wedding venue hunting, because I just feel like it's going to be the first domino that just starts a whole domino effect of planning and organising and getting started with the wedding. Just realised though that despite the fact that I'm saying that it is the long weekend this weekend, looking at my schedule, this video isn't going to be going up for another week or so. I've been getting quite ahead of videos recently. I think it's because of the Sunday uploads. I'm really enjoying doing the Sunday fashion videos. I would love your feedback. Are you enjoying more of like a specific fashion video on a specific day of the week? Are you enjoying the Sunday fashion uploads? I know there's been a lot of hauls recently, but I do feel like at this time of year I do get a little bit spend happy, just because I love this time of year. I love this fashion, like I love styling for spring, summer. I love pretty dresses. Like every single haul I've been looking at, I'm like, this is 99% dresses, but you know that I love them, and I speak about this a lot, and I know I add a lot of dresses into my wardrobe, but because I obviously don't work an office job, I don't work a job where I have to wear, I don't know, like scrubs or a uniform or anything like that, my pretty dresses are my uniform. So like if you worked in an office and you had to wear workwear, that would probably take up 90% of your wardrobe. And I do find that wearing lovely dresses around the house, like wanting to feel beautiful but be comfortable, that is my uniform for work. So that is why I always have so many in my wardrobe, and I completely appreciate that. Like that is not normal, nobody needs that many dresses, but I always find that with my hauls and stuff like that, I will buy 9 items so that you can choose your favorite 2 to purchase and add into your wardrobe, so that you don't have to spend that amount of money, you don't have to order all of those pieces and have to like bother with the returns and sending back, and like you can see the sizes and exactly how it fits. And it kind of means that like I always see myself as number 1, your little styling pixie, number 2, your guinea pigs that I can try it on, I can let you know how it feels, the material, the sizing, the styling, and then you can kind of make your decisions, your very informed decisions from that. So I know there's been a lot of hauls recently, but let me know if you are enjoying the Sunday uploads, because I am absolutely loving them, and it's getting me really inspired and really exciting with regards to like my styling at the moment. So I would love your feedback. Be honest, if you're not enjoying them, let me know, because obviously these videos are for you guys and I always value what you want to know. The step of my makeup routine that I used to completely ignore and never do, and now literally cannot live without, blush. Oh my goodness me, this is the Bobbi Brown blushed pink brightening blush. I'd say it's almost like a highlighty brush. I really like the fact that it's got the 3 different colors, so I kind of like swirl it together. I actually use this brush, which is not meant to be a blush brush. It's a Real Techniques one, but I really like it because it's very precise, and I kind of just basically just dab it, almost like a highlighter, right on the corner of my cheekbone. And I really like the effect it gives, because it kind of gives that like pulled up look. But one thing that I do, and I can't remember who I saw this on, I guess it's like a very popular technique at the moment, but it's kind of like my own take on this technique. It's the underpainting technique, which a lot of people really like, and I totally respect that, but for me it just doesn't work. I find it gets too covered up and it gets too kind of like blushed out, and I find that doing this is so much better. So I do all of my base first, then I go over with my foundation brush and basically just kind of blend it all together. And I just find that it takes a little bit of a harsh blush and a little bit of a harsh contour, and it kind of just blends it out and makes it look so much more natural. Like, I can't tell you what a difference this makes. I don't know if it's going to be picking it up in camera as much, but honestly, it just blends it all together. And as I said, it makes it look like you're not really wearing that much makeup. It doesn't look like you're caked or anything like that, but you just have this absolutely perfected skin. That is exactly what I aim for these days. So as I was saying about uploads, because of my Sunday uploads, and I'm obviously not vlogging 3 vlogs in a week, I'm kind of just doing 2 vlogs in a week, and then I'm doing like 1 sit down or stand up video, like styling video. It means I'm actually getting a little bit ahead of vlogs at the moment, and I would love to ask your opinion about how you feel with vlogging ahead. Like, I always love to be at least a week in advance, but I am finding actually I'm getting even more than that at the moment, and I'm getting maybe like a week and a half, sometimes even 2 weeks in advance, and I never know if that's something that bothers people, because obviously, especially if you're, I don't know, going to events, or you're like doing things, or you want things to be like very seasonal, you want things to be very current, and I just don't know if people like hate the fact that you're maybe uploading like a little bit late and you're uploading like a couple of weeks after the fact. But then I don't even know if you would notice or care, because as long as the vlog is going live, because there are certain people that I know that like they upload their vlogs very close to the fact, and I don't know how they do it, because being a, it must be because they've got editors and stuff, because being a one-woman band, obviously I need to give myself time to do the filming, to do the editing, to do the description boxes, to do the uploading, and it does take quite a process. I'm definitely not the kind of person that can vlog one day, get the vlog up by that evening, or get the vlog up by the next day. Like, I hate cutting it close to the wire. But then there's other people that, you know, like Zoe Sugg, she will kind of like do an amalgamation of like 2 weeks worth of footage, put it into one vlog. So, you know, the start of the vlog was literally over 2 weeks ago, the end of the vlog is maybe a little bit closer to the fact, and it never bothers me as someone that watches her vlogs. Like, it never bothers me if things are, I don't know, she'll talk and be like, oh, it's the Easter weekend, and it's maybe 2 weeks after the Easter weekend. Never really bothers me. But then I guess as a creator, sometimes I'm like worried, like, are people going to care? Are people going to think, oh, you know what, this is old news, like this was literally the weather 2 weeks ago, this is what you did 2 weeks ago? I don't know. I feel like sometimes I get too much in my own head and think too much about things. So I would love to know, please comment down below if it bothers you, if you care, if you notice, or if that's something that I am just being really weird about. Because one thing that I'm thinking that I could do as well is, if I do start getting a little bit too far ahead, is that I could always switch up the Sunday upload for that week for just another vlog, and just let you know, maybe I can make it a fashion focused vlog. Although, let's be honest, I think most of my vlogs have a little bit of fashion elements in them. There's not a lot of vlogs that don't have like any fashion stuff in it, but I could make sure that it's kind of like a bit fashiony, a bit styling, a little bit of a haul, kind of incorporated into the vlog is something that I am thinking. But I just feel like there's so much I want to talk about at the moment. I'm just loving the styling, loving the fashion, loving adding the newer pieces into my wardrobe. So I feel like I just have so much to kind of like show you right now. So I am loving the Sunday uploads, I'm loving the hauls, I'm loving what I'm adding in, and I'm also loving the vlogs that I'm doing at the moment. I am aware that the vlogs have been at home a lot, but I do feel like April for me, it's almost like a warming up month, and I do find that with a lot of the month, maybe like the beginning of May, it's very much like things are about to get busy, things are about to get busy. And in maybe like mid-May, June, July is always my busiest months. It's my busiest season. It's usually when I'm like away, I've got a lot of work, I've got a lot of campaigns, so I'm kind of just enjoying being home at the moment and enjoying the more kind of like, I don't want to call them boring vlogs, but the kind of back to basics vlogs, let's say that. Because yeah, it literally has been a case where I've just spent a lot of days at home. I'm just focusing on like home styling at the moment, fashion styling at the moment. I am actually heading into London this week, so we will have a couple of vlogs out and about, but I am aware a lot of the vlogs recently have been homebody style vlogs, but that's just kind of my life at the moment, and I am never worried about looking busier than I am. I'm not that kind of person. I do not like being booked and busy. I always say this to people, I don't like being booked and busy. I like being moderately scheduled and well rested. Like, that is just how I roll. My house, my home is my happy place. I love going out, I love seeing people, but I just want to make sure that it's like, I don't know, that I'm not overbooking myself and overworking it myself, because I do get overwhelmed so easily, and I never want to fake being busy. I never want to be that person that's like, oh my god, I'm so busy, oh my god, I'm doing so much, when actually I'm like, you know what, I'm not right, well, not that I'm not busy right now, but like, I've been busy with other things that require me to be at home a lot, and that is completely fine, and I am so happy with that. I realise I've not really been chatting you through exactly what I'm doing on my face every single step of the way, but I feel like it's because a lot of it hasn't changed, other than obviously like blending out with my foundation afterwards. That's something that's changed, so I want to show you, but other than that, with regard to like using my bronzer as my eyeshadow, I've been doing that for months, so I hope you don't mind that I've not been talking you through every single step, but one step, as you can see that I'm waving the spoolie around, that I have definitely changed and definitely been doing a lot differently, and this is something that my lash lady told me to do. And if you get your lashes done, if you have LVL, this might be game changing for you. One thing she said to make sure that your LVL lasts as long as possible is to use a spoolie on it every single day. So basically brush it through almost as if you're putting mascara on, but you want obviously a spoolie that has nothing on it. So you could just buy a spoolie. I actually just went into my local department store and picked up a couple of these from one of the makeup counters, so that I would make sure that I have like a really clean one, you know, it's not been used, there's no mascara on it or anything like that, and you basically just brush through and kind of spread out the lashes, and obviously it just makes sure that they're not clumped and that they're not like sticking together, and apparently it also makes your LVL last longer. So a little tip for you guys, because that might just be game changing. The other thing that I've been doing a little bit differently, which I have spoken to you guys about but I've not really shown you, is with regards to my lipstick. So what I do at the moment is I actually put some clear lip balm on first, and I know that's kind of a cardinal sin when it comes to lip liner, but I love the effect that it gives. So this is the Clinique lip liner in Intense, is this Sassafras or Blush? Intense Blush. Really love this one. And basically I then go over with my lip liner, and it kind of makes it so much more like blended and spread out, and it just means that it doesn't look like a line on your lips. It just, if you see, my lips are not very well like defined against my skin, especially kind of as you go towards the end, like towards my Cupid's bow, they kind of get lost in my skin, and it basically just makes sure that your lips aren't getting lost without looking overlined and like too pouty and too like, whoa, she's got a lot of lipstick on. And then I just kind of like blend that out with my fingers, and I'm really loving that for like days at home when I just want to have a little bit of something on my lips, but I don't want to look like I have got full on lip liner, full on lipstick, like a full face of bold makeup. That's just not my vibe at the moment. I'm just going to set that all with the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray from Charlotte Tilbury, which I am just loving at the moment. I just love putting on setting spray. It always makes me feel like I'm holding everything in place, but also it's kind of just giving me that like rehydration that I need. So yes, I am ready for the day. I might just give my hair a quick sort out and get my jewellery on, but I feel like we just needed a big old catch up. I feel like it's been such a long time since we've like sat down, caught up, done our makeup together. Like, as I said, this is my kind of like new updated spring makeup routine. A few things that I've been doing for quite a long time, a few things that haven't changed, but a few things that have, and a couple of new updates into my routine, which I feel like is really helping with regards to just creating this like very natural yet flawless makeup finish, which I'm really enjoying. So I'm going to get myself dressed and ready for the day, and I'll catch up with you guys in a sec. Right, so I am dressed and ready for the day. Just made myself my morning coffee, which is going down an absolute treat, and I am loving my outfit today. We're going full spring vibes with my new little Suzanne dress that you would have seen in a recent haul, my outfits for every budget, I think I called it, but I am loving this dress. It's a little bit more spenny, but my goodness me, does it look beautiful, and I am loving the jewellery that I've styled with it. And this is going to sound really weird, but I feel like ever since getting my engagement ring, it's kind of given me a bit of a new lease of life with regards to my jewellery styling. I don't know if anyone else found that whenever they got engaged, but it's just made me a lot more inspired to have a bit of a play about with some of my favourite jewellery pieces and start up my Pandora favourites. So I've gone for a couple of faves on this hand. I've gone for my Brilliance ring, which I just love. I feel like it pairs so well with my gorgeous Langs ring. I absolutely love it. And then what I've actually done to kind of match the blue, I've gone for two of my favourite gemstone or birthstone, sorry, rings, which these are the rings that Alex ended up taking to Lings to show them what my ring size was, because he knows that these ones fit me perfectly. So I absolutely love them. So I've got 2 on my hand now. This is the April birthstone, and then this is actually March. So these are both of my parents' birthstones. April my mum, March my dad, and I love how the blue matches the dress. That was kind of like the vibe that I wanted to go for, a bit more like matchy. So I love that the blue matches the dress beautifully, and I love silver jewellery styled up with blue. I think it works so well. So I've just got a couple of favorite bangles. I really love this snake chain bangle paired with this kind of like multi-layered bangle. I think it looks beautiful. And this had I've just gone for one ring. Bracelet. I really am keeping it so stripped back on this hand now ever since getting the ring, but I love this one. It's a cute little snake chain bracelet with like an infinity symbol on it. I think it's really beautiful. And also the cuffs on this dress, they just kind of like pop out. I feel like the bracelets just kind of give a little bit of a, I don't know, you just kind of see a glimpse of them coming through the cuffs. With regards to my necklace, I am wearing my favorite Brilliance necklace, which matches perfectly with the ring, and then earrings I've just gone for some little silver studs, so I am loving it. Let me show you the dress properly as well. I mean, how cute is this? I actually think I prefer the blue to the white so much more, because the blue just has so much like styling and detailing to it, and I love how the skirt looks. It's just like such a cute little rah-rah skirt, and you guys know what I'm like with regards to mini dresses. I don't wear them often, so they have to be really special, and I actually think this works best as a mini. I think as a midi or a mid-axi, it just would have been far too much material and way too like froofy. Obviously we've got the froofiness of the sleeves, we've got the shoulders, the kind of collar. I feel like if there was just too much fabric, it would have really been too overwhelming. So I like the fact that they made this a mini. And my favorite thing about this dress actually is how well it stays. Like, I've not even properly knotted the belt and it stays all day. So it really is a favorite dress of mine at the moment. So after all this chat this morning about Sunday uploads and fashion videos, this is now going to be a Sunday upload. So I know this is a little bit more vloggy, and I hope that's okay, but I think I really am going to try and do a bit of a mixture of that. And if it is a Sunday vlog, we're gonna make it fashion related. So I've been doing a little bit of shopping on River Island, and I have some really gorgeous dresses to show you. Now, you guys know what a huge fan I am of River Island. I feel like especially in spring, summer, they just have so many gorgeous pieces, and I have been doing a lot of thought over what I've been wanting to add into my wardrobe and the kind of styling that I am leaning towards, the kind of things that feel a lot more me. And it's something I've been thinking about a lot. I'm gonna put this bag down, I don't really know why I'm holding it, but it's been something I've been thinking about a lot with regards to like my personal style, and I feel like it really has been elevated ever since the resurgence of Sofia Richie being the new it girl. And it's really interesting just seeing how many like styles change and what becomes like fashionable, what becomes in. And there's a huge trend at the moment for this kind of like old money aesthetic, and I was actually looking online just about like what people class as old money aesthetic, and often they kind of get it wrong. Like, if you're wearing a branded handbag, like let's say my YSL at the moment, you can't really see the branding. So like the way that it says Saint Laurent, you can't really see this. So this would kind of be classed as like quiet luxury, old money aesthetic. But obviously something like my Louis Vuitton, I've just noticed that I have a can of hairspray, not hairspray, dry shampoo on my shelves. Sorry about that. But if you're looking at something like my Louis Vuitton, that is very heavily branded. That is very obviously a designer handbag. So that wouldn't be quiet luxury, but it would be old money aesthetic, because obviously Louis Vuitton is kind of like a heritage brand. So it's a really fine line to kind of tread, but I definitely am leaning towards that more quiet luxury, more classic, more like classic minimalism. I feel like that's the term we should be using instead of saying quiet luxury or old money aesthetic, because those are quite specific things that I feel like they've almost snowballed into something that they're not. Whereas a lot of the outfits, especially the things that Sofia Richie has been wearing, I would personally say is more around the kind of classic minimalism kind of aesthetic, and I feel like this haul was kind of inspired by that. And I do feel like, especially with the way that I dress, my like gorgeous dresses, my very feminine silhouette, and with my handbags, other than my Louis Vuitton, I don't really have very like heavily branded like OTT bags, and I do feel like my style reflects the classic minimalism kind of trends, and I'm really leaning into that at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. So let me show you what I picked up, because I feel like you guys are going to love these pieces. Now, this first dress, oh my goodness me, we're starting with my favorite, because this just ticks so many boxes for me. First of all, I feel like we can't ever have a haul without at least one little white dress for summer, because you know I love a little white dress. They are just so classic, and I do feel like they fit into the kind of classic minimalism trends, which I really like. Like, they're not trend-led items, they're not on style, they're not the kind of thing that's going to date. You can bring them out of your wardrobe year on year on year. And I do have some dresses in my wardrobe from places like River Island that I have literally brought out every single summer because they just last. They really do last. Now, one thing I will say about this dress, it's got this little belt to it, and I actually don't think it's needed because it has this stunning waist detail. I don't know if you can see it very well there, but it was just the sleeves that really made me fall in love with this dress. It's like fluting detail. I just thought it was so beautiful. Loved the scoop neckline, and of course loved the fact that it's like mid-axi length. This to me is really giving like classic old money, if I'm allowed to say that, kind of ethereal vibes. And depending on the accessories that you pair with it, this to me is just the epitome of classic minimalism, and I just love that. Oh my goodness me, look at this dress. Oh, this is just absolutely stunning. This literally looks like you can add another zero onto the end of it. It looks so much more expensive than it actually is. I am so in love with how it looks. It really does not look like it's come from River Island at all. It's not their usual kind of style, but I really like it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I've actually styled it up a little bit more as well, so you can see exactly kind of like how I'm wearing it. I feel like it doesn't require too much styling, but just adding some really gorgeous accessories. I've got my favorite little tan slides on, and my favorite little mulberry handbag, and I feel like the tan just works so beautifully with white. It really does give that like classic minimalism. Obviously it's very simple, it's very understated. You just got a little handbag, you've got some fairly unbranded shoes, and then you've just got the dress, and it looks absolutely stunning. I have taken off the belt from it. You definitely don't need the belt. It does have little belt loops I think I'm gonna have to cut off, which is a little bit ironic considering that I was literally complaining that Suzanne did not have belt loops on their dresses from the one that I was wearing today, but I'd definitely rather have the belt loops and cut them off if I don't want to, rather than not even having the option to have them. But can we just talk about the movement of this, like the frill detail? I love the way that it comes over your arms a little bit, and I just love the way that the skirt moves. This is one of those dresses that I think I'm just going to live in spring, summer. It is so gorgeous. Because you know what I'm like, if I like it, I'll just get it in another colour. But it's actually really interesting how different this dress is. I do believe online they were kind of like together in the sense of like one was just the white version of the black version, but actually now that this has arrived, this dress is like completely different to the white one. First of all, it's a completely different fabric, and I loved the fabric of that white dress. I loved the way that it moved, the way that it flowed. This dress is so much stiffer. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it and hear it. Like, can you hear how loud it is? Now it has the same kind of like ruffling detail, it's got the same gorgeous scoop neck, the same kind of style, but it's just, I think we're gonna have to try this on because I think this one might have to go back because the fabric for me is just not giving what I want it to give, and I want to be really harsh with myself with what I'm keeping, what I'm going to be adding into my wardrobe, and making sure that the pieces that I'm adding in not only reflect like my true personal style, but maybe, I feel like the best way to describe it is it's almost like you want to look at someone that you want to dress like. It's almost like, let's say Sophia Richie is your new kind of style icon. Would Sophia Richie wear this? If not, maybe have a little bit of a second think about it. So we're going to give it a try on because it is beautiful. I love these dresses. Like, they do look a lot more expensive than they actually are, but for me it's just the material I'm really not loving about this one. Okay, this one is definitely going to be going back. I am really not a fan of the material and the way that it's been cut. Do you see this weird little lump that it gives me around my hips? It kind of goes like around my hips and then like poof out. It's really not a vibe. I'm not enjoying it, and it's such a shame because I loved the white version. I was really hoping that the black would just be the exact same but in black, but it's even got like a different vibe here. Like, look at this. Am I Medusa? Like, goodness me, no, this is not the one. Now a dress that on first glimpse is definitely not going back. Look at this beauty. It's another stunning midi number. It is black, and I do love black for spring summer. I definitely think you can wear black in the warmer months. I feel like depending on the material that you're wearing, depending on the way you're styling, it can work really, really well. And I fell in love with this because I don't know if you're going to be able to see the kind of like broderie anglaise running through it. That's a bit better when the light kind of like catches it. I really love that. And it also comes with a little belt that matches the material, and I love it when brands do that with regards to their styling, whether that's like buttons, belts, things like that. I always feel like if it's the same material as the dress, it always makes it look so much more expensive. And I just thought this was so beautiful for spring summer. As much as I really do want to kind of encapsulate that classic minimalism trend, I'm definitely not going to be steering away from what feels like me, and what feels like me is puff sleeves, feminine silhouettes, like floaty dresses. I just absolutely love them, and I thought this was such a gorgeous addition into my spring summer wardrobe. Now this is a black spring summer dress that I am definitely going to be keeping. I mean, look at how cute this is. This just screams PetiteElliee. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now the key with styling black for spring summer is being very considered with your accessories. So I've really thought about what I want to be styling with this dress to make it more spring summer appropriate. So I've gone for some really like natural fibers in my accessories. I love my Chloe Woody slides styled with my Chloe Woody basket bag. I just think they look so cute together, and the obvious kind of like naturalness of the like fabric I just think works so beautifully with a dress like this, just to really bring it into the spring summer months. I also love the fact that the hem, the kind of like underlay of the hem, comes a little bit shorter, but not so much that you can see like your full leg. You can just see a little bit of the broderie down at the bottom, which I really like. And the belt is just beautiful. I love the way that it looks, because you just get this little pop of gold, but then it just cinches in the waist so minimalistically, which I really like. Also love the fact that we have a tiny little bit of poofing on the sleeves, which I always speak about, the fact that it's very elongating on a shorter girl. So I just think there's so many design elements to this dress that I absolutely love. It's one that I can definitely see myself wearing a lot throughout the spring summer months. Now this next dress I am going to need some help with, because I recently picked up a gorgeous polka dot number from Phase 8, if you guys will remember. And I kind of feel like I can't keep both. I haven't actually taken the label off of the Phase 8 one yet, and I feel like it's either going to be one or the other, this one or that one. So go back and watch that vlog so you can see me trying on that polka dot dress as well. But when I saw this one, I just felt like it felt a little bit more me. It had a few more design elements that I absolutely love. You guys know I love a shirt dress. I just find it so classic, so timeless, and so quintessentially me. I also loved the fact that it had like a little bit of a longer sleeve, and the skirt just flows so beautifully. And again, it's got a belt in the same kind of material as the dress, so I really loved that. But the cute little like gold hardware, again, I felt like really elevated this. Like this looks a lot more expensive to me than it actually is, which is what I always really love. I speak about that a lot in videos as well. And I feel like sometimes it can be a bit of a cause for contention, because people are like, oh, you shouldn't always look like you spent loads of money. But for me, it's like I just love looking elevated, and if I pick something up that looks really elegant, really elevated, looks like you spent more money than you actually have, that to me is a dress that I absolutely love. I always love mixing my price points. I love mixing high-end pieces with high street pieces, but at the end of the day, I just want to make sure that my outfit is beautiful, elegant, and elevated, and I feel like that is exactly what this dress is. Well, this dress is an absolute beauty, a definite minimalistic, very old money style dress, I have to say. I know I didn't want to say that phrase, but it really is. Like, this is just so gorgeous. I love the silhouette of it. I love the way that it cinches in at the waist, and the fact that it's got this kind of shirt detail. I always like to open them up a little bit, make it less preppy and just a bit more kind of like casual and just like styled up, which I really like. The one thing I'm a little bit unsure about is actually the belt. I'm debating whether it would look better styled up with a different belt, because I kind of feel like you're losing the fabric a little bit and losing that like cinched in waist. But other than that, I do love it. I've again styled it up with the Chloe Woodies because I really like how they look. They're just very summery, very natural, really like easy to wear. And the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm thinking, actually, I might be able to keep both polka dot dresses. And I know that sounds silly, but I feel like they are very different, and I feel like different enough that I can kind of get away with it. So let me know your thoughts on this one versus the Phase 8 one, because this one is very much daytime to me, and the Phase 8 one is a little bit more evening wear, or a little bit just a bit more dressed up, and this is just much more like casual weekend easy styling. So let me know your thoughts down below, but I just really like this. Now this last dress I feel like is really going to need a little bit of styling, and I feel like the other dresses, it was very easy to style. They were kind of like beautiful in their own way. You didn't really have to add much to them. You just put your shoes on, put your bag on, and it all looked really cute. Whereas this one, I definitely think I'm going to have a little bit of a play around with the silhouette, with the styling and the accessorizing. But I do love being able to do that. I love being able to change a look and change an outfit with the accessories, with the styling of it. And when I saw this dress, I thought this could be really, really beautiful. And I didn't like the way that they'd styled it with the model. All they did was wear it smocks, and for me, it just isn't a dress that looks like it should be smocked. It looks like it needs a cinched in waist and it needs a little bit more of a silhouette. But I might be wrong. We might try this on and actually it kind of works as is. But I loved the pattern to it. It's like this really gorgeous, almost like leafy pattern, but obviously because it's all white, it's just really elegant, really regal. And I loved the ruching to the collar. I always love a little bit of frill detail. I just feel like it's very, very me. So it's another one that I feel like could be really gorgeous. And actually sometimes having a bit more of a looser silhouette almost makes things look more expensive, almost makes them look a little bit more elevated. So this is one of those we're gonna have to style up and see how it looks. Well, I have to admit, my mind has been changed. I love the dress as a smock. Now, not everyone might agree with me. A lot of you might think it would look better with a bit of a cinched in waist, but I kind of love the looseness of it. I love the fact that it's just got this like really flowy fabric. Kind of feels to me like a very gorgeous but like a modest holiday dress, which I really like about it. It does actually have a completely separate slip underneath, so what you could do to make it a bit more fun is maybe wear like a coloured swimming costume or bikini underneath, and then you can literally see like the entirety of it through the dress. But I actually really love the style of it. I really love the fact that it's just like this loose flowy fabric. I've styled it up with my Loewe basket bag to really bring in those like holiday vibes, and I do think the tan accessories work so well with the white. The only thing is I wish the slip skirt went all the way down, because I do feel like it looks a little bit odd that it stops at your knees and you can kind of see the rest of your leg. It's my only bugbear about this dress, but I do think if you wanted to, you could easily elevate it. You could cinch in the waist, make it a little bit more silhouette-y, but I kind of like the looseness of the fabric, and this very like, this to me is kind of like an older dress, and I don't mean that in the sense of like a bad thing, and I don't mean that in the sense that like it looks old. I mean this is a very middle-aged lady's dress in the best way possible. Like I love dressing older than I am, let's be honest. Like I don't dress like most 24-year-olds. I would say I've got quite a timeless style about it. Like anyone in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, or their 60s can wear most of the dresses that I show you. And this to me really does feel like that old money, middle-aged lady kind of dress. Like, you know, when you've got the kids around playing in the garden and you just look effortlessly beautiful. That is what this dress is to me. I hope I'm making sense with what I'm saying. I'm not offending anyone, because this is like all positives that I'm saying, but I love it. I think it's just such a beautiful dress, and I definitely think I'm going to be keeping this one in my wardrobe. All this chat about Sofia Richie and her styling at the moment and that kind of, you know, classic minimalism trend has really got me thinking just about how quickly social media moves now. Obviously Sofia Richie is now being branded as the new it girl, and it's all come about from her wedding, which was insane. Like if we had an unlimited budget, that is what I would want from a wedding. Like, oh, the flowers, the venue, the backdrop, it was just so beautiful. And I feel like her marketing team did such an amazing job of just like growing the hype of the wedding. Like we were all so excited about it. They did an amazing job of kind of like showing you it in real time, and I feel like that's one of the hardest things to do, and you really do need like a full team behind you to be able to do that. Like they must have had about 8 photographers there at the wedding, because they were getting these professional wedding shots like out the same day. I thought they must literally all have like an hour slot, like shoot that hour, go and edit, get it up by 3 p.m. You know what I mean? Like it was absolutely insane. But she has now been branded the new it girl, and it's something that I do find really interesting, because it girls never really used to be a thing. I guess there was always like big celebrities, you know, like Paris Hilton or, you know, Nicole Richie and things like that, but it never used to be as like fast moving as it is now. And I do feel like, what is going on with my hair? I do feel like that is because of the TikTok culture of how quickly things move, and people analyze people's styles straight away. Like people jump on the bandwagon so quickly. And actually it just makes me feel really sorry for whoever is the next it girl, because obviously beforehand I'd say Hailey Bieber was definitely an it girl. You've got the donut glazed nails. Everyone would go nuts for her styling. Every time something that she would wear would be released, all of the fast fashion brands would do something really similar and it would all sell out. Then it went on to Alex L, who was a very big TikTok star, did absolutely amazing, was really, really great for the younger audience, and they felt absolutely head over heels in love with her. Now it's Sofia Richie, and I really don't like this culture of like the new it person, because I feel so sorry for the one before, because obviously they haven't done anything wrong. People are now just kind of bored of them and moving on, and it's like, must be really, really hard to deal with that and like carry on as if nothing has happened, despite the fact that everyone's saying you're old news and no one cares anymore about you. Like, that just really, honestly, as someone who lives online, like, that would really upset me if that was me. And I just find it so bizarre how much we're kind of like have this obsession with their like style, and that's like what everyone wants to wear. And I know that that sounds a little bit controversial, because obviously I am leaning into this like simple minimalism style, the kind of old money aesthetic, this, you know, classic minimalism and what's the word I'm looking for, quiet luxury, which I'm really enjoying. But I do feel like it's because these are titles for my style that I never heard before, and I do feel like the reason why I'm leaning into them so much is because that is just my style anyway, and it's quite nice to almost have like a bit of a label for it and a little bit of a kind of title for it. And as I said, I do feel like old money aesthetic and quiet luxury are two things that are not understood well enough, and so people kind of like use those buzzwords without knowing what they mean. I would definitely say that this kind of like new trend at the moment surrounding that kind of aesthetic is more about quiet minimalism, classic minimalism, and I really, really like that, and it's something that I really want to lean into with regards to my own styling and my own wardrobe. And I think it's quite exciting to almost have a bit of an overarching umbrella of style for my spring summer wardrobe. I think that's the best way to describe it. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. In my head, I know what I mean, but I'm not sure if it's coming across. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So I've just tried to put the dresses away in my wardrobe, the new River Island dresses that I'm definitely keeping. And I'm not gonna lie, we have just had a 27 dresses moment. I physically can't fit them in the wardrobe. It is bulging at the seams, and as I said, I do utilize my dress wardrobe. Like, I really love so many of the dresses that I have. I wear them so much. I absolutely adore them, but we're gonna have to start doing a bit of a one in, one out system, because this is just absolutely ridiculous. So I wanted to have a little bit of a clear out of my dress wardrobe, because as you can see, it is bulging at the seams, and I have officially ran out of hangers as well. One thing I think I need to do is maybe get rid of some of the coats and maybe put them into storage, because I'm not wearing them as much anymore, and I think I can just keep out my like lighter trenches and things like that. But going through my wardrobe, I am really in need of like a big old clear out, and I kind of want to give myself a little bit of a rule as I'm going through, because as I said, I really do want to, especially this summer, really incorporate that kind of classic minimalism style into my own personal styling wardrobe. And I always feel like whenever you add pieces into your wardrobe, number one, they have to reflect you as a person, but number two, you can kind of follow maybe a little bit more of a trend, or just like more of an umbrella styling kind of rule. So I'm going to ask myself two questions as I go through with this clear out. Number one, does it follow the classic minimalism trend? If the answer is yes, great, and I like the dress, it can stay. If the answer is no, the second question is, but does it spark joy? And if the answer to that is yes, then it's allowed to stay, because that is the most important thing when it comes to styling, that you feel good in it and that it makes you feel good, it sparks joy, it makes you feel like you look good. Like, those are the most important things when it comes to choosing what to keep in your spring summer wardrobe. So it's time we had a little bit of a clear out. I'm going to ask myself those two questions, and hopefully I can whittle down my dress collection to something a little bit more manageable. Done quite a good job. I've had a little bit of a clear out, but to tell you the truth, The rest that's in here I do absolutely adore. I am struggling with a couple of bits though. Number one, this dress is one that I'm really struggling with. It's a bowed number that I got from last year, and I wore it so much last year, but I haven't yet reached for it this year, and I'm really unsure. I think maybe I will keep it in there and then see if I do reach for it, and if we maybe get to like June and I still haven't, then I will probably look to seeing if I can sell that. I'm also struggling a little bit with colours. I feel like this year all I want to wear is blue, but I do have quite a few pink dresses, like my House of CB dresses. I've got my like Amazon dresses, and I'm not really feeling pink this year, but then I don't want to jump the gun, get rid of them, and then really regret that, because the House of CB dresses are so classic. So I think I might keep those in there for a little while longer, but we do actually have a lot more space now and a lot of spare hangers, which is obviously the most important thing, so that I can add more new pieces in, because I have a problem. I'm not even joking, I literally have a problem, but it's so nice knowing that we've got all of those spare hangers and all of that space if I do want to add any more bits into my wardrobe. Goodness me, I feel like it's been quite a while since we just had a daily vlog over here on the channel, but I feel like I've been in a really chatty mood today. It's been so lovely styling up the pieces, showing you what's new in, and having a little bit of a clear out is always such a nice way just to give me like a little bit of a refresh with regards to my wardrobe. One thing that I would also recommend, as well as doing a bit of a spring wardrobe refresh at the moment, is just going through a bit of a clothes maintenance. I did that recently and it just made me feel so much better. So just making sure that everything that you've brought out of storage, everything that you've maybe not been able to wear yet, you steam, you wash, you iron, you make sure that it is like ready to wear and looking as crisp as possible, because there's nothing worse than like wanting to wear a shirt and realizing, oh my goodness, I haven't ironed it, oh my goodness, I haven't steamed it. Like linen obviously creases a lot, like really easily, and I always like to make sure that even if I'm not washing in between wearing the linen piece, I have steamed it and it is ready to wear for the next time. Also, nugget of information, if you've got like a lot of belts like this with your dresses, they can get really creased up. Hair straighteners, literally you turn them on, especially if you've got GHDs like me, they turn on within a few seconds and you can just straighten that, and it just makes it look so much more elevated and that you've put a lot more thought into your outfit. Like I feel like there's nothing worse than if I wear something and then I look back at maybe photos and I'm like, oh my goodness, that looks so creased up. Like, Ellie, it literally takes 2 minutes to iron a dress, like, you know what I mean? So it's just always really nice to make sure that not only are you wearing pieces that, you know, you've spent a lot of thought into adding them into your wardrobe, you're looking after them, you're maintaining them, and just making sure that they last the test of time and just look as elevated as possible. So it's been really fun styling up the pieces today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing what's new in. I've been in a very chatty mood today, so I really hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button already, I see you, hit it now. It takes 2 seconds and literally would mean the world to me, so make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.